Gruss Vom Krampus, everyone. Welcome to our Christmas special. I am Precious D.
And I am Honey Bee.
And as you may have guessed by my German greeting, we are taking a look at a Christmas movie today, Krampus from 2015.
You know, I didn't actually know that Christmas horror was such a thing until you actually told me.
Yeah, Honeybee, we could do an entire podcast just on Christmas-themed horror movies. There's a lot more of them than you would think. In fact, when I was trying to get like a definitive list, I kept seeing things like 25 top Christmas horror movies. So I'm like, 25 top? So there's others that didn't make your list?
Yeah, I saw a few that I'm like really excited for because after we had the conversation about there being so many, I looked a few up. There's one on Amazon Prime called Santa Jaws, and it's a shark movie, and I'm pretty stoked to watch it.
That's funny because I just watched, in order to participate in a different podcast who will remain nameless, I watched a Christmas movie today where the guy made a snow sculpture that he called Santa Jaws.
Aw. You're not going to plug your other podcast?
It's not participating directly to listen to.
Oh, I see.
It's How Did This Get Made? Okay.
Okay.
Come on.
I didn't need to pressure you.
Anybody that listens to this podcast cannot be surprised that I listen to How Did This Get Made? And they will be doing Snowmance. Which is not a horror. Anyway, this is not just the only Christmas horror movie, but not the only Krampus movie. None of the others are like sequels to this movie. They're not made by the same company, but there are a number of Krampus
other movies.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
For anybody who is not familiar with him, Krampus is a horned anthropomorphic figure in Central and Eastern Alpine folklore who during the Christmas season scares children who have misbehaved. Assisting St. Nicholas, the pair visit children on the night of the 5th, with St. Nicholas rewarding the well-behaved children with modest gifts such as oranges, dried fruit, walnuts, and chocolate, whilst the badly behaved ones only receive punishment from Krampus with birch rods. That's from that is obviously from Wikipedia.
Krampus is a babe, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I think after I read Saga, I just like had this thing for like horned goat men. I don't know. It was weird, and I'm still figuring that out. But yeah, Krampus is hot.
You're talking about the comic book Saga, for those who don't know.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Now, I don't think we saw his birch rods in this one, but I think he carries them.
I'd like to see his birch rod
pack on his back. Some people think he is actually a figure pre-Christian origin. Sometimes he's characterized as Santa's brother, just sort of a dark shadow of
kind of like a Scar Mufasa thing.
Yeah. So yeah, and some you can find on the internet all these old greeting cards from like the 1900s that say Gruss Vom Krampus, which means greetings from Krampus.
Yes.
I briefly looked at one of those other Krampus movies, and it is like a low-budget home movie camera piece of crap, so I did not finish watching it.
Dang. Did you like this movie?
Yeah, I think so. I certainly like the people in it.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, it's from 2015, and it has a bunch of people that you've seen in a bunch of stuff.
Right.
Adam Scott, Toni Collette, David Kushner, Allison Tomlin, Conchita Ferrell, a bunch of kids that you've never seen in anything, but they
did well.
They're in stuff. You just haven't seen them. They have credits, most of them. And supposedly it's a horror comedy is how it's described. And I guess it is.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah, this gives me very like Benny Loves You vibes. Just like because of the like giggling, cute little.
Oh, you know who one of those giggling gingerbread men was?
Who?
Seth Green.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was the voice of one of the giggling guys. I didn't recognize the other names. Brian Burns, Justin Rowland, and Ivy George, and Gideon Emery is Krampus. Well, it says he's the voice. Not sure who was the body of Krampus.
Well, if you're listening, body of Krampus, hit a bitch up.
Luke Hawker. is the suit performer of Krampus. But I think you want to talk with the special effects guy that constructed the mask. Is who?
Well, it's kind of like the whole, like the hooves and the horns. I don't know. I have problems.
Yeah, clearly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's get into this. The movie starts off with the Frozen Universal logo, followed by a Frozen Legendary Pictures logo, and then we get an entire song from Bing Crosby. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Slow motion Christmas chaos.
Yes, the song is being used ironically as we see scenes of chaos in the store.
Yeah, like too real. Like Christmas shoppers are the most like ragiest shoppers. Yeah. Like Black Friday and Christmas, any holiday shopping is, I imagine it like this. Like this is what my anxiety looks like when I'm in stores in Christmas. Just like everything's in slow motion, everyone's angry. It was like too real.
Most of mine is done online these days, so not a
problem. Well, I'm a dinosaur. I don't buy stuff online.
And then for some reason, there appears to be a Christmas pageant happening in the store. Like
that could happen.
A nativity, the kind of thing you would normally see either at school or at church. Well, not in you shouldn't be seeing it in a secular school, but it's certainly the kind of thing that would be put on at my church is being done in a store, which I found a little odd.
I mean, I think, I don't know, like in a mall, like we have things like in the middle of the mall that are like, I don't know.
Santa Claus is there, but there's not normally a full-blown school recital happening.
Yeah.
A couple of kids in the recital get in a fight, and then we find out in the next scene that one of them is one of our stars. After this chaos and opening credits and Bing Crosby, we cut to somebody watching the public domain version of the Christmas Carol on their TV.
Hell yeah.
Because they blew all their money on Bing Crosby. Public domain Christmas Carol. And Grandma is baking at home, baking a lot. Now, I thought we had just seen her in the store, but she's at home baking as they all come home the store. And the kid, Max, is that his name? Yep. Max is in trouble for starting the fight. And he says that Ben Ski is always ragging on Christmas. This other kid apparently was spoiling Christmas for the younger kids, and this made Max lose it. And he said that it was just a marketing thing to sell Pepsi, which his sister, who's very sad, corrects him that it's to sell Coke, not Pepsi, which is an oversimplification. But our modern vision of Santa Claus is very much a product of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Those his suit that we think of him as wearing now is from Coca-Cola illustrations. Grandma speaks almost exclusively in German. There's one part later in the film where she speaks English, but she speaks German and Max understands her. And we see later that her son, Adam Scott, as Tom, speaks German as well. She clearly understands English because they do that thing where she speaks German and Max speaks English and they both understand each other.
Yeah.
So
that was like kind of how my great grandparents were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they spoke Spanish, but like my mom, like everyone responded to them in English. and they always spoke English, but then my grandparents, they spoke Spanish. I actually didn't even know. Yeah. Anyways, I was going to go on a rant, but it is not.
That's okay. You can go on a rant or a tangent or what have you.
A tangent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it kind of made sense too, like, especially, I guess I related to that, especially because she's like the grandmother. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So Max is really into Christmas. He's wearing a Rudolph hoodie that I kind of liked.
Cute.
And the cousins are coming, and apparently the cousins suck.
This whole family sucks. And I feel like we all know this family, right? Like, is it just me that feels like these people are so real and I know them?
Yes.
It is?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I definitely know these people.
My own family is big enough that we never had to team up with cousins and aunts and uncles and stuff for Christmas because there's quite enough children in my family.
Yeah, the Lopi clan. It's a big one.
But while they're discussing how terrible the cousins are, the mother and daughter discussing how terrible the cousins are, Mom notices in the picture that they've just had taken at the mall that she's hanging up. That Santa appears to be checking out her daughter's ass.
Yeah.
The teenage daughter. So that's unfortunate.
It is. It really is.
So we have our little family here: mother, father, daughter, son, and grandma. Grandma and Max talk about Santa.
Yeah.
And believing in the spirit. Does she believe in Santa? And she says she believes in Santa, that it means believing in the spirit of giving and sacrifice. But then when she says sacrifice, she gets this look on her face, like this look like she was in the concentration camps or something.
Yeah, I think they call her, what do they call her? Ami or something like that?
Omi.
Omi, that's right.
Omi. So, and then she clams up and distracts Max by giving him a cookie.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah. And then the daughter is in her room on the computer with her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
We establish in this scene that he's just 4 blocks away.
Right.
And can she escape to see him? And then the cousins arrive. This is very much a family vacation, Christmas, National Lampoon, Christmas vacation, family vacation kind of cousins showing up. They're not quite as bad as the in-laws in that movie, but they are clearly very similar in that they're a little poor and a little crass.
Redneck trash is what he's trying to say. a little more
rednecky.
Yeah.
But not quite as bad as Cousin Eddie and his family. So the woman who was in the Fargo TV show, and that's Allison Tomlin, and David Kushner, who's been in a whole bunch of stuff. He's an Anchorman. He plays a recurring part in The Office, and you'd know him if you saw him.
Yeah, Packer. He plays Packer in The Office.
Yeah, they are the Howard and Uncle Howard and Aunt Linda. So Linda is the sister of Sarah, who is the mother, Max's mother. Get all these relationships straight.
And then we have Aunt Dorothy.
Yes, and she has brought Aunt Dorothy without warning anyone ahead of time, who is Conchata Farrell, who you might know from 2.5 Men and one of those law shows.
I love that her first line is "Christ on a stick."
She's a crude, drunken woman that they thought they were just stopping by to give her presents, but she had her bags all packed and came along. So, they act like they don't want her to be there, but obviously she must be a very lonely woman if she just latched on to this opportunity. Even though she kind of complains about it, she clearly doesn't want to be alone at Christmas.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't think she was all that bad.
I think she's fucking hilarious.
And they left one kid in the car.
Yeah, well, they have a lot to keep up with.
Yeah,
it happens.
There's three cousins, two girls who are very much tomboys, and a boy who won't talk, and a baby who got left outside
in the car.
Aunt Linda claims that Dorothy tricked me, and of course the baby needs to be changed. And then there's a big family dinner, and we establish that the brother-in-law, Uncle Howard, is an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who's into guns. There's gun talk. He makes fun of Tom being in the Eagle Scouts.
Yeah, and this is the first time we get our shepherd protects his flock bullshit.
Yes. And everybody is very bitchy. And Dorothy says, "No ham? What are you, a Jew now?" And the cousin tells a joke. She's one of the cousin girls is taunting Max and talks about Santa having to eat his reindeer and that he ate tiny reindeer, making a bad pun on the word ate. Sarah and Dorothy bicker. Howard tells us that reindeer are a very good sustainable food source.
Yeah, at this point, Aunt Dorothy has another good line when she says, "This fancy food clogs my pipes."
And the cousins have somehow got a hold of Max's letter to Santa Claus, working on earlier with Omi, and read it out loud. And in this letter, Max has kind of called everybody on their bullshit, but not having any idea.
No, but in such a sweet way, though. Yes. He really wants the best, and it's so the letter to Santa is so sweet. I think this is like really the scene that we establish, like Max's heart, which is another reason why I really love Krampus, is because it's like, just because you're a good kid doesn't mean shit. I'm still like, it's just like, I don't know, I just like that. You know, when movies like don't like sugarcoat shit or play shit, I don't know, it's just like,
Right.
he's such a good kid and you really get it in this scene, and then
Yeah,
his whole
because
family gets it.
he has all these wishes and none of them are really for himself, or they're not for things.
Yeah.
He wishes that he and his sister Beth could hang out like they used to, because he doesn't really have any friends. He wishes mom and dad would fall in love again. Wishes things weren't so hard for Uncle Howard and Aunt Linda. And then the cousin stops reading. It's not clear exactly how he phrased it, but then she yells out, "Fuck you, Dad does not wish we were boys." So I'm not clear. Did he wish that they would be boys?
No, I think he probably,
I don't know how he
I think,
phrased it.
I assume, or I think he probably just said, and that Uncle Howard stops wishing that the
Right.
girls were
Something like that. Uncle Howard could accept that he has two girls.
Yeah.
So yeah, she yells out, "Dad does not wish we were boys."
And why doesn't anyone, like any adults in this scene, like do anything about this? Like them reading the note and all, everything. They just all sit there and awkwardly look at each other like, oh.
Yeah, somebody should have immediately jumped up and said, "Stop that,
Hey,
give me Max's letter."
Quit
Yes,
being a dick.
an adult should have intervened sooner, but I think they just got so stunned by what they were hearing.
Yeah, so then Max snaps.
Oh, Mom has missed this. Mom comes in and says, "Who wants creme brulee?" having missed the letter, and Max flips out. And yeah, I did write down that I was touched by this letter. This was a good thing.
I did too.
He just said, and he says, "I just want Christmas to be like it used to be, but forget it. I hate Christmas. I hate all of you." And he runs upstairs.
Yeah, then we get a little dad talk.
Right. Well, but first Dorothy says, "I think he deserves a prize for telling the truth."
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love her.
Dorothy knows what time it is. But yeah, Dad comes in to check on him and tells him, "Look, it's just 3 more days."
Yeah, go ahead and put your little Santa letter in the mailbox, chap.
Yeah,
little
and he acts like he's going to go ahead and put the letter in the mailbox, but instead he accidentally performs a spell.
Yeah, he throws it out the window,
tears it up and throws it out the window, which then summons Mary Poppins. No.
Yeah, it goes up all practical magic style.
Yeah, it does. Sadly, it does not summon Poppins. It summons Krampus.
Mary Poppins.
So the next day is they established this bit of opening a little advent calendar, like a very nice wooden advent calendar that tells us that it's the 23rd now, and there's heavy snow. Nobody's blizzard coming. That's because it's a magic Krampus-induced blizzard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right after he throws like the letter out the window, it's like the lights in the town flicker. We hear like doom music. And then we see like storm clouds roll in and like lights flicker in the town and then like completely go out. There's like a blackout. Yeah. And it's like, what? It begins.
So now there's no hot water, no electricity, and the phones are out too.
And there's a snowman in the yard.
There's a snowman in the yard that was not there before. And is it Mom says something about ever since the noodle incident, the neighbors aren't talking. Oh, they're trying to check on if everybody else's power is out. Like, well, those people aren't home, so we can't tell. And we can't ask the other neighbors because they won't talk to us ever since the noodle incident. Which I think is implied had something to do with Max. But the only person we see outside of the family is the DHL delivery guy who brings some packages. And there's a big red bag out there also that he didn't bring. It must have been the boys in brown, but we know as the audience that it's probably Krampus that left that bag.
Yes, and then we get a good line here when they are getting the packages in, and the redneck guy, Uncle Howard, says, "How do rich people get all the free shit? Democrats, probably." And I was like, I know this guy. I swear, I know this guy.
No, it's true. If you're really rich, people do give you free shit, especially if you're a celebrity. Celebrities who can afford stuff get bags full of free stuff all the time.
Woo.
But Grandma has made hot chocolate.
Yes, over the fire.
Yeah, because she knows how to do that old school shit. Beth wants to know if she can go check on Derek, boyfriend, because he hasn't texted back. Can she go check on him?
4 blocks, Mom. I'll be fine.
They decide to let Beth go check on Derek, who I don't like. We only see him for 2 seconds, but his name's Derek, and it just rubs me the wrong way.
Damn.
Just going to judge him on that alone. Sorry.
Damn, okay.
Apologize to any Dereks that might be listening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but I support you. And sorry, Derek, if you're listening to this.
But she's out in the snow and she sees Krampus up on the roof.
Yeah, he very Jeepers Creepers style leaps from house to house.
He leaps from.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so as soon as he moves, she realizes, oh shit, it's not a decoration. She screams and starts running and loses her hat, which I thought was going to be important, but I don't think it ends up being important. I don't think they find it later. And she sees that the DHL man has frozen to death, but it hasn't been very long. So maybe Krampus did something to him.
Yes.
Because I don't think it's been long enough for him to have frozen to death naturally. She hides under his truck and Krampus stamps around and then leaves, but leaves a jack-in-the-box behind. And Jack kills Beth?
Yeah.
But then later we hear her calling for help, so maybe it crawls under the truck and she screams.
I think that's part of like a Krampus thing, though, to like use their voice to like fuck them up, because later on in the movie, after one of the kids is like gone and dead, we hear her voice and they're like, oh, what the hell, like blah blah blah, and it's like they go up there and it's, you know, devil ornaments and shit. So I think us hearing her voice later is like just a Krampus thing, like him being like,
oh, okay,
freaking him out.
Yeah, could be. Later they're starting to. Beth should be home by now, and we hear some sirens in the distance, so there's some evidence that there's other people around somewhere. Max is worried about Beth, and Tom asks if Howard's Hummer can make it through the snow. Yes, it can. Let's go. So they go. Tom and Howard go to look for her. Granny asks them not to go. It's too dangerous, which is where we find out that Tom can speak German. So Tom and Howard are in the Hummer. There's no cars on the road. There's no radio. They come across looks like a dump truck, and they say it's a snowplow, so it must be a snowplow attached to the front of the dump truck. It's empty, but there's a present on the seat, and the keys are still there, and the glass is punched in. Because Howard says, oh, the guy must have gone through the window, and Tom notices, no, the glass is going the other way, as if it were punched in. Yeah.
So then Howard gets a huge gun.
Yep. He opens up his back of his Hummer and starts handing out guns.
By the way, his Hummer's name is Lucinda.
That's right. Back at the house, there's some talk about, oh, you have Mom's Angel all this time. They're like decorating the tree and stuff. Max is doing a Rubik's Cube, and we hear something on the roof, and there's a loud crash.
In the attic or on the roof. Yeah,
and Grandma looks up the chimney. She knows what's going on.
I literally wrote down right here, Grandma, get your damn head out of the fire, you crazy bat.
She knows what's going on, though.
Yeah, I know, which is another reason she should get her damn head out of the fire.
Right. When they get to Derek's house, it is like frozen on the inside.
Yeah, I'm like ransacked.
Was the door already open?
It was like busted through.
So all the frost has just come in through the door. There's a knife. I wrote that there's a knife in what I thought was a gingerbread man toy, but then it looks like Howard eats a piece of it. So maybe it was an actual gingerbread. It just looked too big and poofy to be an actual gingerbread man.
I think it's one of the evil things.
Well, but somebody's killed it. Maybe the people in the house killed it. Maybe maybe Krampus and his didn't kill it. Maybe one of the people killed it. But yeah, Howard eats a piece of it. Now made me wonder, well, was it supposed to be a cookie or a toy, or was this just a bit that the actor did that they hadn't planned on?
Yeah, I think you're right about like someone just like killing it, or like getting that one particular, like stabbing it while it was attacking. And
they see there's some kind of crack above the fireplace, and Howard gas line blew. But we know that Krampus did that coming down the chimney.
And then we see the hoof the hoof prints.
Hoof prints in the snow. Tom's like, do goats walk on their hind legs?
That's a big fucking goat.
Yeah. They hear Beth yelling for help. And they go outside, and it's something under the snow. I don't know that we ever find out what this thing is exactly.
No, we don't. I just think I thought of Tremors, which I found out the other day. I did not know this, that there's a Tremors with snow.
Yes, which was actually filmed in a desert. All that snow in Tremors is actually sand.
Hell yeah.
They just either used a filter or color corrected afterwards to make it look like it was snow. But yeah, there's something under this snow that grabs Howard, but Tom shoots it and the thing flees. And they find that Lucinda has been crushed and is on fire.
Yep.
At the house, they heard shots and are about to go look when the men come bursting in.
Which is another good line here from Aunt Dorothy. They're like, Aunt Dorothy, stay with the kids. She's like, I never liked kids, even when I was one.
They do some first aid and tell everybody stay calm and away from the windows. And Tom not here? Howard starts to tell him everything, but Tom calms him down and is like, no. He doesn't want him to freak everybody out, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dorothy takes the kids into the kitchen. Grandma keeps the fire hot because she doesn't want Krampus coming down the chimney. And Dorothy passes peppermint schnapps around to the kids in the kitchen.
Hell yeah, she does. Aunt Dorothy coming in clutch, starting our little alcoholics off early.
Yeah. Once Howard is bandaged up, though, they're talking about Beth is still out there, but they can't go out because he nearly got frostbite in under 4 minutes, which would explain why the DHL guy was frozen to death.
Yeah, so they're like, let's board up the doors and windows, which I was like, okay.
And all these kind of movies, like if there's zombies outside or something, they're just able to find enough laying around.
Yeah, even in the dead of snow, like this blizzard, they just found enough like great lumber to board these doors up with very pretty stained wood.
I really think this movie did spend all of its money on the Bing Crosby song because the kids are watching a movie on the iPad that looks like a mashup between Rudolph and Charlie Brown, in that we have an elf. We have an elf that looks like a Rankin and Bass style puppetmation elf who appears to be delivering Linus's speech from the end of A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Hell yeah. Well, that was smart.
So I'm like, I guess it was cheaper to just animate this little short segment than to license either one of those Christmas specials.
Yeah, totally. And because here's the thing is like, you recognize that because like you have that sort of brain, like you're going to see things like that. But for me, it was like, I recognized the animation style and maybe not even the speech, but I was just like, oh, I've seen that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I saw the movie and I was just like, oh, I've seen that. you know what I mean?
Yeah, you have not.
Right, exactly. So I think like that's
trick
perfect.
Worked on you, huh?
The trick worked. Yeah, it was smart.
Yeah, no, he's doing the thing about, you know, Jesus being born in Bethlehem from the end of Charlie Brown, but it's one of Santa's elves giving this speech.
That's hilarious.
But here Howard thanks Tom for saving my ass, he says. So they, you know, they have not gotten along traditionally, but Tom has now proved his manhood to Howard. And Howard says, sorry for thinking you're such a spineless dick all these years.
What a compliment.
Grandma's acting different, somebody notices.
Max.
And Tom says she always gets, Max notices, and Tom says she always gets weird around Christmas, but she won't talk about it. Howard says he'll keep watch, and of course he falls asleep. Everybody get some rest. I'll keep watch, and then cut to he's snoring. Music is playing on the iPad, and the battery runs out. The fire is going out in the fireplace. Battery dies in the iPad, and we hear laughing from the chimney.
We start hearing the chuckles. I love these so much. This is one of the reasons why I loved Benny Loves You so much, is like the little chuckles. I love when something like cute and sweet is like evil and horrible. I don't know why, but it just really gets me going. And these little tiny chuckles, they do it for me. I love it.
So a hook on the end of a chain drops down and a little gingerbread man climbs down it.
Oh, I love it.
The cousin that won't talk wakes up and sees the gingerbread man and bites it on the head, takes a bite out of it, and it attacks and pulls Howie. The mute boy is called Howie, so he's Howard Jr. Pulls him up the chimney.
Yeah, I love the little gingerbread man. I wonder which one Seth Green is, because this one has like a little bit of a voice. He does like wee to like get him over there.
He's listed as Lumpy. Their names apparently Lumpy, Dumpy, and Clumpy.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
You know, I could not distinguish them enough to tell which was which. And the other is Perchetta the Cherub, was the
God. Yikes.
angel, like a Christmas tree angel. That is the thing that torments them.
Yeah, I love when the little boy like takes a bite out of the gingerbread man. He's like, and he like comes alive. And he's like, huh? And then just like his little like angry eyebrows, like, ah! So good. I love it so much. Oh yeah, a log rolls out.
Log rolls out, catches the presents in the tree on fire, and they're trying to save Howie, a tug of war with Howie, but they lose, and he goes up the chimney. Max gets a fire extinguisher and puts the fire out.
Yeah, and the mom sees the little gingerbread guy like taunting her.
Howie's shoe falls down and hits Howard on the head.
And he very rightly blames himself for falling asleep on duty.
Mm-hmm.
And Grandma says, no, it is all of our fault in English.
He's come for all of us. And then she explains what is going on.
And Aunt Dorothy says, English, I knew it. Which is such a fucking redneck thing to say.
It's clear that she understood English all along. She just prefers not to speak it.
Right.
And then we get a puppet animation flashback to her childhood in the village that had forgotten the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah.
And they had given up, and so had I. And I wished for them to go away. I got my wish. Nicholas was not coming this year. A darker and ancient spirit, the shadow of Saint Nicholas. It was Krampus. Not to reward, but to punish, not to give, but to take. And Krampus did not take her. He left her as a reminder of what happens when hope is lost. And yet she failed to remind everybody until it was too late.
Yeah, I think like that's part of it, is like she was trying to keep the spirit alive in Max, you know, and that's why like she was like always his biggest supporter, and in like the beginning and stuff, and she's like trying to like making the Christmas cookies and telling him like Santa's what you make it, blah blah blah, because she knows.
Right.
Because she knows.
She maybe should have just been more direct. Look, if you guys don't shape up, Krampus is going to come kill everyone. But Howard's not buying any of this, and I don't know why.
Not any of this senile horse shit.
After what they've seen, I don't know why he's not buying it. But he's going to go get Howie, and opens the door, and there's a little battalion of snowmen out there and things running around. And I said, is one of the snowmen Howie? It seems like the small snowman up front might be Howie, or is at least wearing some of Howie's clothes.
Yeah, I think just
Howard looks right at him and is like, Howie? But they shut the door, and Tom says to keep the fire hot.
We cut to opening the door in the advent calendar for the 24th.
Aunt Linda's trying to clean up the tree and the presents and that got burned. And the cousins are now asking Grandma questions about the whole situation. And she explains it's not what you do, it's what you believe and what you give up in here, indicating her heart. I don't know if that makes any actual sense.
I didn't think it. I mean, I was just kind of like, okay. And then when Grandma, you know, basically sacrifices herself, I was like, oh, okay. You have to give your soul.
Yeah. And then even though we're not watching a kaiju movie, Tom does some map work.
Woo! Bingo.
He has an idea, and but then Linda hears a Jack in the Box in the box. One of the presents that Krampus left behind. She's shaking it, and it sounds like it's got a Jack in there. You can just tell from the way it's tinkling that there's a Jack in the Box in there. But Tom's plan is to get the snowplow and escape with that.
Yeah, like clear a path for them. Yeah.
Last time they saw it, it was intact and it had the keys in it.
Mm-hmm.
Then the boxes start moving and chittering, and Max spots Krampus outside, I guess, out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And the cousins go upstairs.
Yeah, this is the part. Yeah, this is the part where they hear Beth upstairs, and this is why I thought maybe the voice, like hearing the voice of someone who's already dead, is like just a Krampus thing, because she obviously wasn't even in the house.
Yeah, they go upstairs because Aunt Dorothy clogged the crapper, and they think they hear Beth in the attic, and they hear a scream, and they go to check, and Howard tells them to wait. Max says it's my fault, and then the dog runs off, and there's no sign of the kids in the attic. Open boxes, baby cries, and
yes.
And then the gingerbread men are in the vents.
Yes. Yeah. The gingerbread men, oh my gosh. They may just will very be the best part of this movie for me. I love them so much. They are so, with like the whole time they're laughing, I could not stop laughing. It's just so, it just like really pushes the happy button in my brain. It really did. Like the little chuckles are just like, oh, I love them.
I'll have to remember that. And then they see the Jack-in-the-Box monster eating one of the cousins. So like in the process
that thing is freaky.
Yeah. So the part of the Jack-in-the-Box that like springs up out of the box gets stretched really long. And this thing sort of like becomes like a giant snake that can crawl across the floor. And we see the legs of one of the cousins going down the mouth.
And hear all of the like creepy digestive noises.
And Tom says, "Oh, come on." The G-men shoot Howard. The gingerbread men shoot Howard with a nail gun that they were using to board up the place earlier. And they, somewhere along the way, I don't know if Mom's Christmas angel came to life or this was just a different Christmas angel that was in the boxes, but an angel attacks and a teddy bear attacks. And I wrote, bang, flaming G-men.
Yes.
Howard shot it and set them on fire somehow. And there's a robot. Howard fights the gingerbread men, and the dog gets the last one. The dog eats one.
I love that part. It was adorable. That little bulldog.
Yeah.
Good job, little dude. You are a very good actor.
There's some fighting going on in the attic. They're trying to find Stevie. That's one of the cousins. Linda is fighting with an axe, and the Jack-in-the-Box escapes through the vent with Jordan. Yeah, Jordan was the other cousin that's been eaten, and Mom shoots the robot. And Max yells, they either tell Max to run or Max to, Max yells for Mom from downstairs. Okay. Again, can't read my writing. Downstairs, Max yells out for Mom, and there's noises in the vents.
Oh my gosh. Can't read your writing should be one of our bingo things.
That's not in the actual movie.
I know, but it's great. Like, it could be like a free space or something,
okay.
like
in the middle.
Yeah.
Max opens a vent and sicks the dog on the toys, and then we hear the sounds of Rosie as the dog, sounds of Rose fighting, and then the Jack-in-the-Box comes crashing through the ceiling. The angel attacks, and the bear is behind the couch. So look, they thought they'd beaten the angel and the bear, but they're still alive. Dorothy shoots the bear.
I know this is super random, but when the credits come on at the end, the dog's name was actually like Thor Ank or something, not Rosie, which I was like, well, that's kind of weird, because usually it's like Rosie played as herself, but this dog was actually a dude or something.
Yeah.
Or its name was something different, and they even gave it a character name. I just put that out there.
Somebody throws the angel and then Dorothy shoots that.
Yeah, and it's so cool because it's like in like a boom style.
And Dorothy finishes with pleasure. And then the creatures that we saw amongst the come crashing in. They are apparently elves, like the evil Krampus version of elves. And they crash through the window, and one hugs Jack. Fire out? I don't know. Was Jack on fire? Maybe they put Jack's fire out. One of them gets the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And chains. They put chains around somebody.
Aunt Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they put chains around her and like
she gets dragged out.
Like pull her out. Yeah. Before the elves come, like they hear them outside. Like they hear the sounds, and Omi, the grandmother, says elves. Like, she knows the sound. She, like, recognizes the sound of the elves. I thought that was pretty cool. Like, a little, And then they hear some sort of horn, like, brrr, and they all, like, stop. And it's, like, obviously, like, a signal of some sort for them to, like, gather because they all just take off.
Yeah. Oh, it was changed around Jack. They were dragging Jack out, but they also dragged Dorothy out. And then Howard jumps on the Jack in the Box, and they both get dragged out. And the elves kind of menace everybody, but yeah, they hear the horn, and they leave. The horn, as you said, apparently summons them to go. And somebody says, we need to make a break for the snowplow. And there's a noise. It's him. Power flickers. They hold on to each other. Omi won't come. And they start to head out towards the snowplow. And Omi comes. She locks the door, locking herself in, locking them out, because she apparently wants to face Krampus.
She says, be good.
Yeah.
And sacrifices herself.
Yep.
And Krampus is like feeling Omi. He's like, he gives her a little tongue sniff, like, oh.
Was that exciting for you?
Yeah, it was. I was like, damn, okay, Krampus, what's up? I hate Christmas too.
Oh. I love Christmas. So they all run off. Krampus comes down the chimney and he stands defiant. And yes, I wrote tongue. Krampus opens the bag and all the toys sort of leap out towards the camera.
He feeds her to the Christmas ornaments.
Yeah. In the Snow family, here's the thing under the snow coming. Tom stays to fight it while the others go, and he gets pulled under the snow.
Snow tremors.
Getting in the plow, Linda is pulled under the snow, and then Mom is pulled under the snow.
Yeah, everyone's just going left and right at this point.
Max can't start the truck. Elves attack, and they get Stevie, who is the cousin. And then it looks like one of the elves gets pulled under.
No, it's Megan. They get Megan. Isn't it Megan?
No, there's two of them, Stevie and Jordan. Jordan's already been eaten by the Jack in the Box. I don't know who Megan is.
Oh, well, I thought he says it later. Like, he calls for her. Maybe I just misread the...
Stevie gets pulled under. But it looks like one of the elves gets pulled under, too. So I don't know what this thing is under the snow. If it's taking out some of Krampus's people, maybe it's a third faction out there in the snow. Krampus drops a big-ass jingle bell wrapped in the scraps of Max's Santa letter.
Oh, is that what it is? A jingle bell. Okay. Yeah. I thought it was just like a Christmas ornament.
Well, I mean, it's big enough that it could be used as a Christmas ornament, but it's a jingle bell.
Okay. Cool.
And then a voiceover of Omi saying the line about he left me as a reminder of what happens when you lose faith. Max trudges through the snow and sees Krampus's sled, and there's elves and the Jack in the Box and Stevie, and he yells out, "Hey, asshole, I take back my wish. Give me back my family." And he throws the bell on the ground.
And the bell sinks into the snow.
And then we hear like church bells ringing in the distance, and the ground cracks open where he threw the jingle bell.
A fiery earth opens up.
There's like lava and shit. So some kind of hellhole opens up, but it kind of creates sort of a mound around the hole, like a volcano. And Krampus jumps up onto the edge of it, and the elves drag Stevie up to the edge, and Max climbs up to confront Krampus and says, "Please give them back. Take me instead." And the elves just throw Stevie into the pit.
Yeah.
Krampus laughs and picks up Max, and he says, "I'm sorry, I just wanted Christmas to be like it used to be." And Krampus drops Max, and he has a long fall, and then there's like a whiteout.
Yeah, which turns into his bedroom window.
Yes, he wakes up in the morning. He's in bed. It's snowing outside. Max opens the last window on the calendar, the advent calendar.
The family's downstairs. Everybody's there, and everybody seems okay.
Everything's... Was he just dreaming?
And Dorothy says,
"I haven't felt this hungover since the Pope died."
So I guess Dorothy was so upset about the Pope dying that she got really, really drunk and really hungover.
If that's what
I guess
you call it. That's true.
So Dad asks Max if he was okay, and Max says, "Just a bad dream, I guess."
And Omi says Merry Christmas to Max.
They're unwrapping their presents. One of the girl cousins has gotten a set of brass knuckles or steel knuckles, I guess. Calls Max Maxi Pad. So even though they're having this happy Christmas morning, they're still kind of acting like assholes. Mom opens a present of a taxidermy animal that apparently Howard has prepared. They talk about how he had to reattach the leg.
Yeah.
So I assume he was caught in a trap. But could you tell what kind of animal this was?
No.
It looked like it was just sort of generic mammal. Like somebody said to a animation designer or a puppet designer, give me a generic mammal. It should have all the basic traits of a mammal, but should not be clearly identifiable as any specific mammal. So yeah, I have no idea what the heck it was. And Max hugs his parents, and then he opens a box, a present, and it's the Jingle Bell. And
and then
everyone stares.
Kind of has like this, like it's like they kind of remember something, or
yeah, they all start remembering. And he turns around something I read said the Jingle Bell had his name on it when we saw it earlier. I didn't notice that, but
no, it had Krampus and then something in German.
Yeah. So well, right now when we're looking at it, we see that it says Gruss Vom Krampus, which, as I said earlier, means greetings from Krampus. And Omi looks ominous, and we hear voiceovers of parts of the movie, sort of flashing back through the events of the movie.
Christmas music starts.
Yes.
Everyone's freaked out.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah.
And as we zoom out, we see that the house is inside of a snow globe, which Krampus puts on a shelf with other snow globes, and the camera continues to pull back, and we see that there's multiple shelves with multiple snow globes on them. And then the toys jump up and go boo.
Yeah, which I love this like snow globe thing, but I have a question.
Do you now?
What? Like, how the fuck did Grandma out of her snow globe? And does that mean that Max is going to make it out of his snow globe and find the love of his life and then have to sacrifice himself as Grandpa?
Well, but in Grandma's story, so what your question is really saying is that the end of this movie doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right. But I love it. I love it, but I'm confused. I
did not love it. Because Grandma does not say, but then I woke up and everything was okay, but then it turned out I was caught in a snow globe.
Yeah, but she had, what? It had to have been though, right? Because that was her Krampus story.
But, well, if the movie was, if the ending made any sense and if it were consistent, it would mean that. But that's not what happened to her. That's not what she describes. And I'm not entirely clear if we're meant to take this ending literally or not.
Oh, okay.
If we're supposed to actually believe that they are trapped in a snow globe, or if it's just a sort of closing framing device. I don't know. And I'd love to tie the writer to a chair and beat him with a wicker rug beater until he explained it.
What? Wow. Is the writer's name Derek? What is your deal today?
I'm just saying it's a bullshit. It's a bullshit ending. It's bullshit.
I like it.
Either grant the kid's wish or don't, but don't just trap them in a snow globe.
Yeah, I was thinking like he's going to trap him in a snow globe and then like every day for the rest of his life it's Christmas, but it goes to shit and like kills everyone that he loves. But then how the fuck, I was just like, well then what the fuck is Grandma doing here? And how is he going to get out of his snow globe to find the love of his life and then sacrifice himself as someone's German grandfather?
It does seem like sort of a lame punishment if they're just left in the snow globe in a perpetual Christmas Day opening presents. That's
no, but yeah, they open presents. But
unless they begin to remember.
Every day they get slaughtered.
They'll relive through all of that, though.
They have to do it every day, forever, for the rest of forever.
So they have to go back through the 3 days leading up to Christmas?
Yep, they get...
It didn't make any sense, and I do believe that is one of the general criticisms of this movie.
Yeah, still loved it.
It works better for me if I just don't take that ending literally.
Yeah.
But I have no idea if they intend for me to take it literally or not.
How many stars? Oh, did you get a kill count for this movie?
Well, it's none.
How do we know?
It's none, apparently.
Yeah, or it's everybody or nobody.
We don't know if the DHL man was brought back to life. or Derek and his family, are they in their own snow globe? We don't know. Yes, you're right. It's either everybody or nobody. There's no way to know.
So how many stars?
I can't even remember what I gave it before. What did I give it on Letterboxd? I guess a 3. It was okay.
Okay, all right.
I might have liked it more if the ending were better.
Sure. I love the ending, even though it sucks. I don't know. I just like I'm like, oh shit. But also I'm gonna say that it was a little better than a 3. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I really love this movie. Like I said, it was my first like Christmas horror movie. I saw it in like 2017, and a friend showed it to me, and I will always remember that. And it was so good. I love this. I love this movie. It's good.
Okay. I mean, I really like everybody in it. They all did a really good job, and they're people that I've enjoyed in other things. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3, but it might have gotten more if it had a better ending.
Hell yeah. All right. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Love
Gruss
your
Vom Krampus,
season.
everyone.
Yeah, all the things. All of the things.
This episode will be releasing on Christmas Eve, so have a Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas, or just have a good day if you don't celebrate anything. Thank you for joining us. Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements.
And what was the other one? Don't
whatever you
do,
whatever you do, you mustn't misuse science. The actual line. Look us up on all the socials. Send us a message on our Gmail, monstermoviefuntimego@gmail.com. I regret not making that shorter. Should have just made it mmftg@gmail, but it's too late now. Leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/mmftg. And as always, we will not see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go.